Yeah, I think you're doing it right.
Yeah, carry on. Carry on. It'll work in a minute, trust me.
I think I'll do it for at least sort of 3 to 5 minutes, mate.
Yeah, no, you've got to be thorough with it, Mark.
3 to 5 minutes.
You're building up a
I'm getting sore. Might take
Looks about good now.
Yeah, no, that looks all right, mate.
Yeah.
Are we live? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live, bud.
Shit out. Good evening, VapeTUK UK. Welcome to episode 106. Six, about as long as I last, clearly. This evening with me, we have Mr. Christopher JB. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
We also had, I completely forgot your name for a second then, Stu. Good evening, Stu.
We've got the shit Stu Vape.
Your mother, brethren.
He's not the real Stu Vape, so is he?
Nah, the real Stu Vapes needs to please stand up.
I think we're going to have a problem here.
You'll see that we're missing a box this evening. Unfortunately, Big Tom off RedTube inadvertently spent far too much time in the sun, made himself really, really ill. And yeah, he's probably rubbing chip fat into his skin as we speak.
To be fair, though, that photograph that he sent us was fucking priceless.
Which photo did he send you?
The one of his back just fucking red as. Amazing.
I feel sorry for the dead patch of grass that was underneath the part where he was blocking out the sun. You know, like we lifted an old plant pot up after about 3 months. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh, my days.
Like a giant paddling pool you've moved after a year. There's just a patch of dead grass, worms.
Bless his socks. No, Tom's fucked though, so he can't do the show. But we've got public bonus later, haven't we? So we'll get a few other little extra people in, hopefully.
Yeah, so in the chat, I'm looking for bonus suggestions.
Yeah, if we like your bonus suggestion, we'll PM you a link and you can actually come on live and defend your boner.
Yeah, so if you've got a little boner, no matter how small, you can tell us why it should be classed as a big boner.
All boners are welcome. To be honest, we'll even accept enlarged clitorises. any kind of turgid sex organ is really fine. We don't mind.
But send selfies first.
Yeah, slide into my DMs. Once you clarify verbally that you don't have a yeast infection.
Slide into Chris's DMs like the sunblock on Big Tom's back.
Oh, can you imagine? I reckon he just sticks us like a block of Lurpak on his shoulder blades and waits for it to
run down.
Channel into his arse crack.
Oh my days! I don't want to think about Tom's arse crack full of fucking melted Lurpak. That is literally the last thing in the world I want to think of.
Gosh, I'm hungry. You're making me worse.
In the right amount of sun, in the right amount of sun, you could put a hot dog in his arse crack, and he could slowly like turn it like a rotisserie.
Oh my days! Is this what the show is tonight?
It's. I think we lowered the tone. Was it last week we lowered the tone? I think we've just come back in at that low level. But please, no more £1 million questions.
Yeah, no more £1 million questions. Although, curious question though: would you rather be caught by your dog fucking your dad, or by your dad fucking your dog? Tough one, isn't it?
I think I'd rather be caught by my sister fucking my nan.
No, you see, I've always thought about this. I'd rather be caught by the dog fucking my dad, because the dog's not going to tell anyone. If your dad spreads around that you were fucking the dog, you bollocks, don't you?
You've really put far too much thought into this, dude.
It's like the age.
Ask the question, mate. I've been asked the question and I had to give an answer. You know.
Well, it's like this. I was asked once, and this is wise. No, there's nothing wise about it. I was asked once, would I rather fuck my dad and no one knows that I fucked my dad, or not fuck my dad, but everyone thinks I have? Like literally everyone. It's gone viral. Everywhere you go in the street, like, you the dude that fucked your dad.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I'll fuck your dad instead. There's no problem then.
I thought you were my dad.
Dolan's everyone's dad.
Or Stu, would you rather sit on a cake and eat a dick, or sit on a dick and eat a cake?
Oh, that's. I think. Oh, fucking hell, that's hard, isn't it?
One of them will be.
Yeah.
I mean, I like cake too much to turn down the opportunity. So that answered my question for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably rather have a dick in my mouth than my arse, if I'm honest.
Right, what's everyone vaping this week?
Who's going first?
I'll go first. I've only got one. Well, I've got two technically. I'm vaping the billet box. I have to take it out of its packaging case because it's just too nice not to. I'm vaping a billet box with. Oh, did any of you see the picture I posted earlier in the week?
Mate, that billet box.
Like, see, look, that's how much I use it. It's starting to wear away the anodize in the spaces that you can actually see.
That thing could give a fucking dog a bone, mate.
Oh, it's so nice.
The fact, sorry, that this show is just so great about sharing the love. Dale was just saying in the live chat that he was sat next to someone that smelt of shaken Vap, shaken back, and he's just put a photo of the culprit up in the VTUK UK group. So, shaken Batwoman, cheers, Dale. Give her a sip from me, mate.
So I had this delivered this week, which I'm very.
Is that package turned up?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Is that a load of that next salt shit?
Yeah, this is the range I've vaped most, and I was really skeptical about whether it would get through customs. I mean, they're 20 quid a bottle, and you pay 60 quid shipping, and then import tax on top of that. But yeah, I've only tried 2 out of these 6. These are all new ones, and they all turned up without any import tax within 2 days from the state. Well, from Honolulu in Hawaii.
Fucking result in it.
Yeah, they got through customs and everything.
So, I wonder why you got away with that.
I'm wondering, Chris, why you'd actually advertise the fact that you've been avoiding paying taxes live on a.
I didn't avoid paying nothing. They declared it as full value, and it just happened to not be checked. So I was expecting to be fisted by taxes, but I wasn't. Yeah, so I'm also vaping on ultra chloroseptic.
Oh, mate.
This is black currant flavour.
That's a banging one. Have you tried the normal one, the green one?
No, I was going to buy the green one, and I wish I did, because this tastes like arseholes.
It's only available in zero, though, mate.
Well, see, yeah, but it's more than 10ml bottle, isn't it? So
yeah.
But yeah, you get a nice cloud out of it.
Oh, you look very happy.
I've got a really sore throat, and it's fucking disgusting. It's like, it'll numb it. Yeah, it doesn't numb your taste buds, though, you fucking arseholes. So yeah, I've got a bit of a sore throat this week. So
mate, you want to get the benzocaine. Benzocaine's fucking magic.
Well, that's what's in this, you dildo.
Is it? Can't be very strong then, because the last time I used benzocaine, it fucking paralysed my face.
That's what it does. It numbs you.
I was literally like that. You're like, yeah, I got benzocaine gel in my mouth. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I can't talk properly. I'm sorry.
This has about 12 ingredients, 2 of which one's benzocaine, and the other one is propylene glycol. Oh, and there's also ethanol. So it's got alcohol and benzocaine in it, just not enough to do anything worth doing.
Dave, get some benzocaine gel, mate.
To be honest, cloves. You know, cloves, cooking cloves.
Right.
Yeah, stick a t-shirt in my mouth.
Pop in some tags.
Nah, I mean, I can't remember what the stuff is I had before. It was like some stuff you dripped into, like, yeah. But it tastes like arsehole and all. What are you vaping on, Stu?
Mod that turns my nose blue. Check it. Badass, isn't it?
You're like Rudolph, but not as cool.
Yeah, I'm like Rudolph the Blue-Nosed Jew.
Can I just see that? Can I just see that t-shirt? That
the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Mate, this is a Primark t-shirt.
A friend of mine, I think she'd really like that t-shirt.
How far for a Primark t-shirt? It's like £6 or something, man. You can't complain, can you?
Yeah, I think even her other half, who's the tightest bloke I've ever met, can stretch to £6.
Is he Scottish?
Yeah, no, he's not Scottish. He's from Birmingham.
So anyway, I'm vaping one of these new bow things. I wanted a little like discreet carry for. Hang on, focus then. I wanted a little discreet carry for just like knocking about with. So
You wanted
both things. It's one of these pod system like preloaded duties. But I looked around at all these sort of pod system things, and this one's actually got the best value for money cartridges that I've found, other than the ones that obviously you can refill the cartridges on. But these work out to like £6.50 for 3 cartridges, which if you compare it to the Von Earl's like £6 per cartridge.
To be honest, I've had near enough all of them, and then I gave up after. Is the Von Earl the one that looks like a squash tampon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had the Jewel, I've had the Von Earl, I've had the funny one that looks like a little battery pack with the pods in it. I've had about 6, I think, and they were all pretty good. But nothing beats the billet box. The billet box does exactly what that does, and I'm using the same liquid they put into those.
No, the airflow is much more open on the billet box. Like you have to lung hit on a billet, really.
This is the misconception, right? Let me just show you this. Despite the fact,
if you put a Nautilus coil in it, obviously you can take a mouth to lung off it.
well, that's exactly what's in here. A Nautilus coil.
Who the fuck wants to deal with Nautilus coils, man?
Chris,
You're rebuildable, don't you?
The difference is, Chris, 450 quid, 25 quid.
Exactly. This cost me like 28 quid, and then I bought a pack of 3 pods for £6.50.
Exactly what you're doing with the billet box with this. It's just I'm a pretentious cunt.
And in here I've got Hoodoo, which is one of their. They've also got some juice from J-Well, I believe. I think the mod might even be made by J-Well. But
Very well.
this one is Hoodoo, which is like a lemon cream. And it's actually fucking tasty. The flavour is surprisingly good. I didn't expect much from it, to be honest. And I've got it in 16 milligram, which is the highest that they do it in. So I'm going to, if I can find out how to hack the pods so that I can put like higher nick in it if I want it.
See, people keep telling me I've got one of them, but I don't.
What?
No one got the joke, did they?
No.
No.
People keep telling me I've got one of them.
Classic JB, that, innit? Just fucking shit
Does
jokes.
it not make sense now?
Just mono shit jokes, innit?
Does it not make
How
sense?
are we supposed to do a fucking show with this bullshit, man?
Well,
Mark,
maybe
are you okay with this? Are you okay with this fucking bollocks every week?
there was intelligence behind that joke, and you two are just not intelligent enough to understand
What intelligence was there behind that joke, you fucking amateur?
Right. What is that?
You're having to explain your joke. That is literally the baseline of shit jokes.
Listen, what is that device called?
It's called the bow.
And what could it? What else could it look like it's called?
The OB, the 09, the
BO.
but that's how it's spelled. It's spelled BO.
Exactly. So people keep telling me I've got one of those, but I don't. You've got BO. Oh my god, you're so fucking slow.
No, you're just shit, mate. I think you need to face facts, innit?
I'm quitting this, and I'm gonna do live streams of James fucking his sister for 100 grand.
To be honest, I think you probably should. I think that's your calling in life, to be honest, bro. I have got another hand check as well, if we're ever going to get to actually talking about vaping tonight. I'm on the Therian 166 with a skill again. And in there, I've got this crusher, which is like a mango ice. And it's like an attempt at doing like, you know, like the Malaysian WS23, like ultra cold in them. But they've used Coolada for it because WS23 is fucking dirty. So it's not like quite as cold as those Malaysian juices, but it's got fucking loads and loads of Coolada in it, and it's really nice for the summer, man. Really been sorting me out for just a good summer vape.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like the stuff in the Malaysian juices.
Yeah, me too, but it is filth. It is fucking absolute animal filth.
It's like I can't remember what it's called. There's a what's that medicine you take, and it gives you that same cooling feeling.
Cocaine?
That's the same feeling you get with this, right? Do you know what I'm on about, Mark?
What, that throat spray gives you a hard on?
See, now you've joined the shit joke club.
Hello, Dolan, do you vape, mate?
I do vape, bro. I do vape,
What
bro.
oil are you smoking tonight, mate?
I'm on a few bits and bobs tonight, and I don't usually mix my flavors up on a wick. However, tonight I am. I have my trusty plastique. my I'm going to call it a Death Wish Death Trap 30 mil.
Fire, man.
Running on Series Box 2700 on that. Vaping on Old Faithful butter oil.
I thought Akina was Old Faithful.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm changing it up. I'm loving
Classic
that.
Dolan, isn't it? Fucking classic Dolan.
What he's saying is he's running out of Akina.
Yeah, what he's saying is he's vaped the entire UK stock of Akina.
Again. No, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to switch it up. In my other hands, I am running the stupid slidey box that don't fucking work, and the
Shit, mate. Don't worry, Damon's not here to defend them this week. They're bullshit.
and the Sherman RDA. On that, I had a delivery today from the guys at EYV, and you've all tried it at home dough, right?
Yeah.
They've released Ice Home Dough.
Yeah.
My God.
Use is fire, but it's like literally the opposite, isn't it?
My God. I tell you what, Crown is absolutely incredible. Crown wasn't my least favourite in the Home Dough range, but it wasn't up there with the likes of 8:30 and 6 a.m.
7, whatever.
But Crown with that cool hit, oh, it's just amazing. Also,
it's orange fruit pastel, isn't it?
what?
Crown. Is that one?
No.
Is it orange fruit pastel?
Just orange.
It's like 5 orange.
Orange.
Yeah, it's like 5 orange, I think. I mean, I was going to try and blag some out of Dale because I don't want to pay retail for it because I'm tight, but I don't want to order 10 bottles to get wholesale price. But he kindly bought me a Magic Mouse 2 earlier this week, so I don't want to push my luck because that's like a level of nice out of Dale that I haven't had for a long time. So I'm going to stick with that. There was a reason for it. I didn't just like beg him for, can you buy me a Magic Mouse? I bought one off him and he sent me the wrong one. I sent it back and he never sent me the right one, so he bought me a new one. Fair play to him.
One thing, talking about Apple products this week, right? That piece of gash, right?
The fucking state of it. How can anyone type on that?
It's the V2 piece of fucking shit, right? Absolute gash, right? Decided to stop working on me. Forgot to take it back. And one thing that I dislike about Apple keyboards is the fact that you don't get that extra section on the end.
Yeah.
So went into Apple and picked up a full size one. £140.
It's fucking horseshit, mate. They're the least tactile keys I've ever used in my life. How does anyone type on them?
I love the keys. I
like a nice old school mechanical, man.
See, who needs Walking Dead when you can see Mark get fucked by dead people?
Either way, onto my other juice. My other juice that I'm vaping this evening is the juice of the sluice variety.
Fucking hell.
Those of you that haven't tried rhubarb and custody.
You lost your job or something, Mark?
Huh?
You lost your job or something?
It's good juice, man.
Just wondering if you're on a budget or something.
It's nice.
I'm not commenting about how nice or not nice the juice is. I'm just saying, are things a bit tight? Like, right financially, are you okay?
As tight as your waistline, you cunt.
You need to borrow a tenner. You know, we're bros. I'll help you out.
Well, it looks like he set up a car boot sale on the bed behind him.
Genuinely.
Trying to rake in some cash.
Genuinely. It's just like random fucking boxes everywhere.
Any of that for sale? I could do with some new Marks.
I do a good price on some Nick salts.
I've just topped up, thanks. That's the sort of pile where you see like a Beats box and a new Mark box, and you think, I want to rig through that and see if there's anything good there. That's the sort of table you go to at a jumble sale and think, I'll have a look. You know, it's better than all the old teddies and all that. Can you imagine Dale if he took all the shit he owns to a car boot? What? There'd just be an army of scumbags trying to buy everything for 20p.
You know what? We used to do my missus used to do snide Pandora bracelet things years ago, and we used to do.
Oh, yeah, rub it in, snide Pandoras.
Oh yeah. She used to get it on.
It's only our viewers that worry about snide Pandoras, Chris.
And I tell you what,
Still,
what used to fuck me off about car boot sales are the bastards that used to jump in your boot as soon as you open them. Literally, they'd fight to get in your boot. But you purposely put a Sony box in there and a Honda generator box and things like that, so people walk past are like, ooh.
mate,
ooh.
I just stack the boot full of dillies or something. Like, no fucks given. I just open it up and there'd just be like fucking Johnny's taken out of their packets, dillies, fucking lube, everything. No fucks given. And then I'd put the real shit behind it so that they've actually got to touch that shit and move it out of the way before they can get to like the PS2 or whatever.
And this is why you're a skint, Stuart.
yeah, mate, just buying dillies to fuck with people. That's exactly why I've got no money, because I just spend it all buying dildos purely for the purpose of fucking with other people.
I'd be really scared though if someone come up to me and asked if there was a try before you buy option for any of those dillies. Like it's in like the counter at fucking the local bakers. We got a bit of a broken cracker out for you to try.
That's weird. Tom, why is Tom taking photos of the back of my head?
Because of that dope fade that you've got, bro.
Maybe he's going to do what he did to you, to me. Take a picture of your haircut to the bottom and say, I want that one. Fade it like Mark. Fade it like Mark. But no, yeah, on a serious note.
I think I'm done, actually, on what we're vaping. Are we?
Oh, yeah, we're talking about vaping tonight, aren't we?
I think so. I mean,
so
I'm quite interested in going for his jumble sale items, but we'll come back to that afterwards.
Should we do one of our main topics? Because we've got two main topics tonight, and it's already 8:35.
One of them, what makes Iron Brew orange? No, that is not the topic.
The blood of free Scotsmen.
It's the Girders, isn't it?
Brewed in Scotland from Girders.
I think
this is probably why their hair's a funny colour.
I think I inadvertently just did a Francis Begbie impression without meaning to.
It would help if I knew who that was.
From fucking Train Spotting, you bellend.
Oh.
Nobody move! This gun's been glassed and no one's gone anywhere till we find out.
You sound like Billy Connolly.
Yeah, no, Billy Connolly's more like that, isn't it? He's got that kind of raspy sort of undying kind of thing going on. That's it. That's all my Scottish impressions. I'm done. I've got it out of my system.
Right. It's gone. Right.
Right. So our first thing this evening, we had a brief conversation about this earlier, about an hour ago. Mr. Douglas Mearns posted a comment on the VTUK UK group. I will, excuse you, I will read it out for you. I was going to post this on the Boner thread, but it's more of a discussion topic, I would say, as I can't figure out if it's a thing, if it's a great thing or pretty shit. How mainstream vaping has become. It's great in one respect that people now know how about vaping and how useful it is to give up smoking. But what made me rethink was a brief encounter with what must have been a 10-year-old boy today on the way to the shops, when he said, "Nice mech mod," as I walked past. Is vaping going to take the place of smoking being a cool thing for the younger people? Would it have been better if vaping stayed in the background and not become as big and flashy as it has? Or may I just be overthinking this whole thing?
I mean, first of all, overthinking is like the only way that we get fucking content. So whether or not he's overthinking it.
Go back how many of you were vaping 5 years ago?
2012 I started. Is that, yeah, fuck me, 5 years ago. No, 2013. 2012, nearly 5 years ago, I think. I mean, it's weird because if it hadn't evolved in the way it had, I wouldn't own a business. You wouldn't own a business because everything that everyone needs would be available in Tesco's. Do you know what I mean? If there was no development and none of, and I think,
Ground.
sorry,
It'd have stayed not underground because vaping was never underground, but it wouldn't have been as mainstream. We wouldn't have been fucked by the government. Okay, so vaping exists for people to stop smoking, so it can never. Excuse me. So it can never be a bad thing. But in some cases, when you look at the popularity of something that's caused its, I'm not going to say it's the demise.
Yeah.
But has the popularity of it caused the issues that we're making now? Obviously, what Doug said is that, a 10-year-old's turned around and gone, "Nice mech mod, bro." It's from Scotland, isn't he?
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't have been said like that. Come on,
Nice
Stu.
mech mod, bro.
There we go. That'll do. I understand what he's saying. It's a tricky one. Is it good or is it bad?
How was it said? Because it could have been sarcastic. I've walked down the street before and I see what I can only describe as fat homeless man, and a kid walked past and went, "Nice shoes, bro." It definitely wasn't being serious.
I'm not sure that Doug was sat on the corner of a street with a cap in front of him.
No, but was he taking a piss like, "Nice mech mod, bro"?
I think the point that Doug's making is that the kid, like a young kid, knew what a mech mod is.
Yeah, but we're in a generation with the internet, right? I'm not being funny, but how often a day when someone says, say for instance, you go for a normal day and something is brought up in conversation, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things throughout your day that you don't know what they are, the first thing you do is Google it. Do you know what I mean? And I do that all the fucking time. I write emails, right? And I'm writing emails for work and I'm trying to sound sophisticated, and I'll type out words that I think I know the meaning of, and I think it sounds right in the context, and I'll have to highlight it, right click, look up, just to make sure that it actually means what I'm trying to say it does. So when you see vaping on the TV, no matter how small of the exposure of the sort of hobbyist side of vaping has had, if you see one clip on the news or one clip in one of these documentaries of someone blowing a big cloud, you're going to look it up. Now, it's hard to know.
When was the last time you saw a mech mod on Emmerdale Farm?
No, but when was the last time you saw a product being introduced into the market that has coverage in so many different ways but are so limited? How did you find out about the more in-depth side of vaping, Mark?
I don't want to answer that.
Curiosity leads to research. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but at the same time, a 10-year-old kid probably isn't researching. He's like, realistically, a 10-year-old kid is probably finding out about this shit from like an older brother or sister, or like an older or something like that. Not like a creepy uncle older friend, like an older friend in the like older secondary school age, because we all know that like a lot of secondary school kids are vaping now, like they get to about 15, 16 and they're vaping because their parents will fucking run them through if they smoke, and they're a bit more tolerant of the vaping.
But see, the thing is as well, it depends on where you are and what's the social norm. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, it was all right growing up learning about certain things from my older brother, because he did a lot of things that I aspired to be like him, I suppose, a little bit. But there's also other things that you don't bother asking your brother about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't ask him to give me a demonstration on how to find a clitoris, right? Do you know what I mean? There's a limit of what you learn. So, but when I was 10, we didn't have phones with fucking internet on it. You see fucking 8-year-olds walking down the street with an iPhone 6. Until this year, or maybe last year, I was still seeing school kids in primary school with better phones than me. Now that it's just a product of the environment in which we're in now. So, all right, it's all right saying, oh, they're not doing research, but I guarantee to fucking God, if he hadn't seen it from his older brother and he had just seen it on a clip on the internet, or you know, he's definitely looked into it to know that it's a mech mod. Because if someone, you can't even do that, to be honest. Like my 8-year-old can pick up one of my mods and say, "Oh, that's his fake fag." He knows what it is. And if I use the terminology enough, he's going to know what the terminology is. Like, for instance,
that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean, we could say that this is a corner case, and that the kid has probably had some sort of exposure to the terminology that's outside of the norm.
I don't think that there's any way of us determining what that kid knows and how he knows it. Like, we can't. There's no way of us knowing, because there's so many different avenues that he could have learnt it from. But we couldn't get Douglas to track that little kid down. It might be a bit illegal. We might have a few loopholes to jump through. Depends if he's up for it. But if it would just be interested. Yeah, you can't really interview a 10-year-old, can you? But it'd be interesting to know how he knows what it is. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people know that they. There's a lot of things I know that I wish I didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
Sarcastically speaking, it's highly likely it was one of Damien Waters' sons.
But see, that's a prime example there, though. Damien Waters' son got hold of. It's not really my place to discuss it, but as far as I know, he got hold of a vaping device. Now, would he know what a vaping device is if his dad wasn't involved in vaping? Possibly.
I mean, it'd be more than likely that he'd still fuck around with it, but whether he actually knew what it was for would be a different story.
Right. But I know that Damien gave his son explicit instructions, or said to him, you don't touch them. Do you know what I mean? If I catch you with one, you're being shit, or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that was part of the whole thread that he was discussing it about. And I think it's down to us as vapors and as adults and as parents and uncles and cousins, etc., of smaller children, for us to educate kids on what the devices are actually for. Because for me, like, I make sure my kids know that it's not a toy.
Yeah, like, this is
not something they should be mucking about with. It's to stop me from smoking, and smoking's bad, and smoking causes illness and sickness, and etc.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, kiddo, this is the only thing that's going to stop me from wringing your fucking neck when you're being loud and noisy. Like, it's, you know, it's important to educate them. But
curiosity is a thing in children that we can't control. Do you know what I mean? So if you...
I mean, I am inclined to say it does feel like a corner case. Like, most of the vapors that we get in the shop don't even know what a mech mod is. Like, it's only a small percentage of actual vapors that know what a mech mod is. So for a kid to know what a mech mod is, it's probably a corner case. And I feel like, in the interest of trying to be reasonable and not be like sensationalist about it, it probably isn't something that you would expect to hear often from a 10-year-old kid or an approximate kid.
To be honest, when you're using a mech mod or a cloud producing device that's going to do some sort of big clouds, you get funny looks from everyone.
Yeah.
From adults, grannies, kids, because none of them seem to know what it was. So it's definitely more of an isolated incident, in my opinion. But I mean, for instance, we were talking about it a minute ago, there's a lot of 17, 18-year-olds that have taken up vaping or tried to give up smoking, or their parents won't kick their eggs in because they're smoking, because they're vaping rather than smoking. But, you know, those 17-year-old kids, say for instance, 10-year-olds walking home, sees one of them with one and says, what's that? And he says, mech mod. You know, sort of like, because if he asked me, if he was my son and asked me as a genuine question, I think I'd go to the point of explaining to him what it is and what it's used for. You know, that it's not a toy, etc., etc., etc. Whereas if I was a 17, 18-year-old kid on the street using one to look the bollocks, and a kid walked past and, what's that? Like, the mech mod. Do you know what I mean? It could be that simple. There was no more conversation to it, as far as we know, anyway. I mean, I don't know. It's just a rather strange situation. And I think it's interesting to know that this has happened at least. So
Yeah, definitely.
What's going on in the chat? Because you two seem rather enthralled.
No, I'm actually interested in.
Yeah, too what? Sorry, broke up.
I'm interested in the topic of conversation. To be fair, I just you know me, like I always exercise caution with these sort of things, and I don't think it's something to worry about too much. I think, like, yes, vaping is much more in the mainstream now, and yes, kids are starting to understand more about it in general, but I think this specific case is an extreme, and I don't think it's representative of how vaping is typically seen by young people. I mean, like, most people don't have a fucking clue about anything to do with vaping, you know, even adults. Like,
Right, think of it this way. If you're a kid in the back of your dad's car, going down the road, you see someone blowing a huge cloud of smoke out the window, and you say to your dad, Dad, what's he doing? What would your dad say? I can tell you for a fact, my dad would say, he's being a silly cunt. That's
My dad would go, he's chucking clouds, bro.
is vaping some dank clouds.
He's being a silly cunt is what my dad would say. So, you know, for all we know, that kid may associate vaping as, you know, like all these memes do. Oh, you vape, do you? Suck a dick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like one of the two guys with their hands down each other's jeans.
Yeah, exactly. And it could have been an insult. But at the same time, it's impossible to tell whether a Scottish kid is being nice or aggressive. It's the accent. They always sound aggressive. It's a bit like the Germans, isn't it? When they try and when they're speaking, they always sound angry.
Yeah, yeah.
So that kid.
But the question is, sorry to interrupt, would it have been better if vaping stayed in the background and not become as big and as, and I'm going to do the wiggly fingers, flashy as it is? Do kids find it impressive because you can chuck a big cloud? Is that what draws kids to it?
I think it's the attention that it gets. I think it's the attention that it gets on social media. I think it's the attention it gets on YouTube videos, because I guarantee there's been kids looking through Justin Bieber videos, and somewhere along the line, a suggested videos come up about vaping. And I think, seeing the nature of some people, I've watched a few videos recently about, you know, these prank YouTubers that do these prank videos on their mates. And there was one about this guy being exposed, and someone recorded him setting up a prank with a passerby, and it was staged. And it's like, a lot of people do things that they see on the internet. They discuss things that they see on the internet. And I mean, it makes me think that all these people are doing all this mad, stupid shit to get attention on the internet, when realistically, the people that are making all the money and doing all the, getting all the fame and the attention are really just setting it up. Do you know what I mean? So all it takes, imitation, I think when it comes to things like this, can be a problem, because, for instance, some people make coils for the art. Some of them aren't practical, some of them aren't safe, but they look good. And people replicate it because they've seen someone else do it and they think it looks cool, but they don't know that it's not safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's like when people make videos online without knowing the safety, etc., it could entice children into replicating it. Like that viral video about the trick god. Did you see that? It went viral. It was about 10, 20 million views on it. It was a guy called Titus Edwards. I actually met him at Expo. He's a really nice guy. He just made a compilation video of some of the tricks he'd done, and it went fucking mental.
Is he the guy that I was talking to outside when I wasn't paying my bill?
Yes, that guy.
Thought so.
You used to owe me money for that. Anyway, so yeah, that guy. He made a video. It went viral, and it got like 10, 20 million views. Now, there's a guarantee that probably about 40% of those viewers were under 18. Yeah. So in a way, the way it's become mainstream in that sort of aspect, I do understand that it could have a negative impact, but it's only as far as anyone's willing to take it. And there's a lot of stupid shit that a lot of people do on video that is staged, they do for views, and then you see other people that, oh, so-and-so died trying to, you know, someone tried to pull a prank on their friend and they got hit by a car and all this stuff. You see it in the news, and it's an extreme. Do you know what I mean? There are people that will do stupid pranks to their friends because they've seen it done online, not knowing it's set up, not knowing it's staged, thinking it's done live, and not expecting the reaction that they got because that's not happened in the video. And I think it's about being realistic and knowing that what impact what we are doing is having on other people. And realistically, from a marketing point of view, from a sales point of view, what we're doing is promoting a product to other people that we're aiming it to be promoted to, and that's other vapors, people that are interested in those sort of products. It's an inevitable excuse me, an inevitable what's the word? It's inevitable that there are people that we aren't aiming this marketing or aiming these videos or aiming these tutorials or aiming this product at that are going to see it. It's inevitable. And it's about what's done with that information. And some kids may research it. Some kids may try and vape. Some kids might try and steal. But it's only like when you're a kid and you see people. I mean, what age did you first try smoking at? Because I started smoking when I was 13, 14. But I know I tried smoking when I was about 6.
I was 12 when I started smoking, but I think I probably tried it for the first time when I was about 9.
Yeah, like my dad flicked a bag on the floor, and I remember picking it up and trying to smoke it. Then my mum seen me out the window, and I wish I fucking never tried smoking it. I can't remember what happened exactly, but there wasn't childlike back then, and I probably would have called it if there was. But do you know what I mean? It's about how. I mean, I think we're a lot stricter in the UK now than when I was younger. It's a lot harder for you to buy an e-cigarette product, especially with responsible vendors and people that actually won't sell to kids or actually do ask for ID. So I think although it becoming more mainstream probably does have that side effect that sort of younger people, kids may see it, may be interested, may look into it. But if we're responsible adults and we run our businesses like we should and not sell products to these kids, I don't think it's going to have any more of an impact than, say, I don't know, the odds of them finding an e-cigarette with juice and batteries charged on the floor. Do you know what I mean? They're probably in the same ballpark.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Is someone sending you guys nudes? Because you seem very distracted.
I think they're just...
Stu, restart. Oh, don't refresh, mate.
Who?
Hang on.
Stu.
Hang on.
But do you know what I mean, Mark?
I know what you're saying completely. And as retailers and as vendors, you know, as long as we're doing our bit, as long as we're being as responsible as we can,
I'm back, motherfuckers.
Then we're doing the right thing. But obviously, media is going to play a big part of that. I completely agree. You know, the virility of a video. You know,
no, I think a lot of the issue is.
One.
Fucking smock alien. Fucking piece of shit 2-battery cunt machine smock alien.
That's
but it shows.
But it. No, it is the part. It is the first.
It is because we as an industry, I'm not talking about us specifically because we're not fucking morons, but we as an industry are selling fucking beginners what is effectively a dumbed down version of a cloud chasing device. We're selling people fucking smock aliens and TFV8s and all of this fucking like high powered, high vapor production bullshit as their first vape, telling them this will keep you off the fags, mate, and you can blow some fucking right clouds with it. And it's fucking bollocks. And that's what's creating this fucking attitude. Vaping is all about cloud chasing. And then that is leading people to be attracted to cloud chasing and for cloud chasing to be what people latch onto. And then kids see that and they think it's cool as fuck because all the older people are getting into it, like all the generation that they look up to are getting into it. In exactly the same way as when I was 8 years old, I was there in fucking ripped jeans and a leather jacket listening to Metallica and Megadeth because my big brothers were there in fucking ripped jeans and leather jackets listening to Metallica and Megadeth. The people you look up to influence what you do.
I don't know, my big brother used to fucking DJ happy hardcore. I can't say I've ever been into that.
Yeah, but that's not a complete moron.
He used to have some Technics 1210s, Mark 1s, and he used to fucking mix up all these vinyl and it was all fucking...
Yeah, but I bet you did pick up some traits from him as a kid. You might not have picked up a specific trait, but I guarantee you probably emulated something that he did because you looked up to him. Like it's a natural sibling relationship.
Yeah.
Ecstasy Chris, that was what you took from the happy hardcore scene.
I mean, he's yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think we're all influenced by everything around us. This is how susceptible you are to the influences around you. And I think the thing is, I read a book once. It was called Eat Well. No, what is it? Exercise, Eat Well, Stay Fit, Die Anyway. And it was a load of funny quotes. It was just funny quotes. A friend of mine gave it to me for Christmas one year. And one of them was, smoking is cool. It may not be clever, but it is cool. And I think that was actually a really accurate fact because a lot of people started smoking because we thought it looked cool. Your mates thought it was cool, or your people you hung around with that were older than you that smoked, you wanted to look like them and you thought they were cool.
Yeah, a lot of it, to be fair, is wanting to be accepted socially. Like as a teenager, social acceptance is the most important thing to you, and you'll do anything, no matter how cunty it is.
Yeah, smoke that. What is it? Does it matter?
You see, the cool kids smoke. Therefore, at school, you went out at break for a cigarette with the cool kids.
Yeah, if you wanted to be cool, you did what the cool kids did, and the cool kids smoked, so you smoked.
It was really annoying because I was the cool kid and everyone followed me.
No,
yeah,
Mark.
well, things changed. They were.
They could see you over the crowd, so they just used you as a sort of a beacon. Oh, that's where the smokes are. But yeah, I mean, like realistically, it's about. It sounds like I'm being really flippant and not really caring too much, but I think for me, I'd rather my kids, when they turned 14, 15, 16, I would rather they picked up a vape because they thought it looked cool than they picked up a pack of cigarettes because they thought it looked cool.
Really?
I mean, it's easy for us to say all this different stuff that we think about this, we think about that, we agree with this, we disagree with that. If we ignore everything we've learned since we were 15 and just look back at that moment when you're there having a fag with your mates, if that was a vape, what would be different?
Yeah, but I mean, do you not think that's a bit of a naive kind of bit of idealism? Like, it's tantamount to saying, would you rather have a dog bite on your dick or a Chinese burn? You know what I mean? Like,
I'd rather have a Chinese burn.
You still shouldn't have an addictive behavior or a potentially addictive behavior.
I don't agree with it, but if it come down to the brass tacks of it, I would rather my children vaped than smoked.
Right, but what we should be tackling as a responsible industry is it not coming down to it in the first place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what we should be addressing.
Absolutely, and this is why I'm saying I'll sound like I'm being flippant and that I'm ignoring the wider picture here, but I don't agree with either. I don't agree with any marketing towards children. I don't agree with any sales of vaping products or cigarettes to children. I don't agree with the fact that the NHS promote this non-smoking society, yet the government are still allowed to sell cigarettes. I don't agree with the fact that the tax generated from cigarette income outweighs the cost of healthcare to the NHS. I don't agree with any of that. But in reality, it's inevitable that there will be some kids that vape.
No, I agree. You're right. What I'm talking about is not practical. What we know that the reality of the situation is that kids are going to smoke and kids are going to vape, and it's better that they vape than that they smoke. We know that. That is factual.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that the attitude that we should adopt is not one of acceptance of kids vaping instead of smoking. We should still be coming down on that shit hard as a fucking ton of bricks. Our attitude should be
Absolutely.
prevention over, you know, we can't end up with an endemic attitude in, you know, the formative years of people's lives and how they enter into society with an attitude that promotes some kind of addictive behavior, even if it's less bad than a previously common kind of addictive behavior. You know, so I'm not saying I'm not stupid enough to think that kids aren't going to vape and kids aren't going to smoke. What our attitude as an industry needs to represent combating anyone entering into the habit that is potentially addictive. Even without nicotine, it's potentially addictive. There's sensation addiction associated with it as well.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. And I completely agree with you. And as I said, I completely disagree with children smoking or starting to smoke or vaping or starting to vape. And believe me, I can't say it live on air, but if I caught one of my children vaping, they'd lock them in a cupboard for a week. See, the problem is, when I was a kid, if I was
Wag your finger like fuck, wouldn't you? That's what you'd do.
I would tell them off, give them a right old ticking off.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, when I was a kid, I think I started smoking, and my dad made me sit there and smoke a whole cigarette in front of him, and then smoke another, and then smoke another, and I was like, yeah, I'm really not enjoying this. And I didn't smoke for a good while after that. Do you know what I mean? I did start smoking again. I did start smoking after that, but when he first caught me, it put me off. But I'm not being funny. There's some of the juices that are out there that are that good. You couldn't do that with kids these days. They'd be like, oh, can I have another bottle?
Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's next on our agenda?
Yeah, Phil's just pointed out in the chat that we've been on this for some time now. It's like 9:05 and we're fucking banging right on about it. So let's not let people get bored. Let's move on to something else. You've got a little something, haven't you, Chris?
I have. Yeah, it's. I just wanted to know personal pros and cons of, and I'd like the chat to get involved in this. I'd like to know what your personal pros and cons are of the following. So we'll start with one. Regulated devices. Now,
cons for me, they're always bigger than I'd like them to be. And they typically don't look as nice to me. They're typically not as aesthetically pleasing to me. Pros are that they're much into a specific vape. They're much easier to use, and they tend to deliver a more consistent vape, and they tend to have better battery life. They tend to be better for actually practical use.
Yeah. Mark, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are cons are I can't fire low enough down on them. That is my real issue. I'm not saying that I vape at stupidly low, but when I install a new coil on an RDA, I like to be able to pre-fire it on the device I'm going to be using rather than having to reach for a mech to get it ready. Pros, battery life, simplicity. Oh, hang on. Can I also add to cons? Stupid fucking screens.
Screens can eat a dick.
Pros, affordable. Also, cons can be not affordable. Cons can be pretentious. Pros, I don't know, it's an odd one. I think they've certainly got a place in the industry. You know, I use Max. Don't get me wrong. I use Max. I don't tend to use many tubes anymore, just through battery life, to be fair.
Yeah, it's funny because neither of you actually, I don't, Stu, forgive me if you did say this right at the beginning, but none of you said safety. And about 5 people in the chat have said safety.
I think I did say. I think I said safety. I feel like I said safety.
I don't think you did. And I think it's good. It's obviously it is a pro, but also I think it's relative to how much knowledge you have of the devices.
Something you have to consider though is are less likely to consider safety anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because we're more well clued up.
That's what I'm saying. If you know enough about it, you shouldn't be worried about safety because you know
the correct way to put batteries into an unregulated mod so that it doesn't vent and have to be thrown across the shop floor. You know what I mean? Like we know our shit.
Yeah.
It's people like Martin that don't necessarily. So
yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the pros are the safety, the adaptability, because obviously for a mech mod to adapt the way it vapes, you need to adapt your coils, which are a lot more of a pain in the ass than pressing up and down or sliding your finger on a screen. But I mean, size can be an issue, but then I think to myself, although mech mods are smaller, you're carrying twice as many batteries. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a bit swings and roundabouts.
The size thing's more like a hand comfort thing for me, though. Like I find like just that is just more. That's more of a comfortable form factor for my hand than like the position that you operate that in. Like when I operate that, my entire hand is gripping it, whereas when I operate that, I'm just kind of loosely resting it against my hand.
You see, you know what it is? Do you know what I like?
Go on.
The fact it's variable voltage. The fact I can choose to hit at 80 watts, that I can choose to vape at 90 watts.
See, you can with mech mods, though.
Yeah, you just have to rebuild them.
To a degree. You just have to build them to achieve the vape that you want. And I think that's a good comparison, and it leads into mech mods quite well. But, I mean, it's essentially how much effort you want to put into it, isn't it, really? The convenience side of things, they both do the same job. One, it requires knowledge, effort, and time. One requires you to press a button. And I think that is part of the problem with regulated devices as well, especially the ones that are like 200 watts or whatever, is that they're sold to people as starter kits because they're easy to operate. And I don't think that should be what defines a starter kit. Do you know what I mean? And you mentioned it a minute ago, and I won't go back into it, but, you know, Smock Aliens and shit being sold to people as their first device, it is bollocks.
But no one says you have to run a Smock Alien at 200 watts, 220 watts, whatever they are.
I mean,
but
it's a DNA
I have never owned one. I have never owned one. I don't choose to own one because I don't like Smock.
No.
However, I work in the industry and I know the return rate on Smock. However, my customers specifically turn around and say they want Smock. They want Smock. You've not got Smocks in. Why have you not got Smocks in? Because I want them. But nah.
But yeah. This is exactly the problem. Like the whole, I'm going to make a bit of a sweeping social observation here, but like the whole Smock thing, it seems to me that it's like builders and roofers and scaffers and stuff like that. They all come in and one of them gets an alien because his local fucking hillbilly vape shop sells him one. And then all of his mates on the site see his fat fucking clouds and his stupid fucking alien and they all want one. So then all his yellow jacket mates come into the shop and they all, you know, want to pick up the same thing. And it's like, it's a certain sort of like, working environments like that are quite cliquey, you know what I mean? Like the gangs of lads that do those kind of jobs, they're all a bunch of mates. And of course, that's a good thing. But if one of them does something, then they all start doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that's where the Smock popularity, from what I see, from what I observe, that's where the Smock popularity is from. It's one person gets missold it because they want to quit smoking, and then the vape shop is a fucking idiot shop that gives them a cloud blowing device to stop smoking, and then they go into their workplace and it rolls on, you know?
I think the thing is as well, smok's so widely available by all these knocking corner shops that are like PC shops that have got a corner section that have got fucking vaping stuff in it, and news agents that have got a corner stuff that have got vaping shit in it. And a lot of them, even my local town, there's a computer shop with a vaping stand in it. The juice, they've extended the ranges a bit, it's not too bad, but essentially all you've got is CE4s and smock.
Yeah, totally.
In between. And I think that's what it is. There's so many people that want to give up smoking that go in there and all they've got is the option of CE4, which they've tried, they don't like, and smock. And I think there's a lot of irresponsible.
Right, that's not. I'm going to stick up for smock a little bit here.
Go on.
For a starter kit, they're gash. They're not designed for someone that wants to stop smoking. There are, I'm not going to use the hobbyist vapor, but the intermediate vapor, someone that wants a little bit more from their vape.
Yeah,
okay?
for that.
They're, as far as that goes, they're cracking little kits. Don't get me wrong. The coils are shit. The tanks are shit. But as for the price point, what's the retail on them? 60, 70 quid for a kit?
5 for the kit.
Yeah, and to be honest, if I'm working on a building site, I'd much rather drop a smock alien than a billet box.
The thing is, you know, they are this generation's RX200. Like, it is what it is, you know, and I accept that, but I think that it does mean that we have a breed of people that shouldn't be using that kind of device, and you know,
yeah,
that kind of annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like, for instance, if I went into a local shop here, there's a level of understanding of the people that run it that know that you wouldn't give them 70-30 with a CE4. But there's also shops that I know that have given someone CE4s, given them a 70-30 juice. It tastes like burnt silica after 20 minutes. And they've like, those are shit. What else have you got? And the only other thing they've got is smock. So
yeah.
That's kind of where they end up. And it's partly the irresponsibility of the owner because they've not explained to their staff, or they've not bothered looking themselves to know the safety of these devices. They're just selling them. Do you know what I mean? They see a market, they see that there's money to be made, and they don't care enough to invest their time in finding out. And I think that's a bit of a problem because obviously staff don't know that you shouldn't use this juice with this mod, or you shouldn't use this mod with this ATI, or you shouldn't use this with that. They don't know that stuff in some of these shops. And that's an issue, I think. But I think we're kind of digressing a little bit. I don't think we're really talking about pros and cons anymore.
No, we're not. Although there is a question just come up in the chat, so what's the substitute? The point that needs to be made, just quickly before we move on to the next pros and cons thing, is that for someone that's trying to get off smoking, which is most of the people that get sold these alien kits, for someone that's trying to get off smoking, what they should be being sold is something like an Aspire Zelos kit, like a good quality mouth-to-lung device for high nicotine with good battery life. You know, the Aspire Zelos kit comes with a Nautilus 2 and a 50-watt mod. The mod is really fucking well built. It's got an integral battery. It charges by USB. Like, that should be the mod that you see everyone fucking rocking. Like, that should be the mod that's everywhere.
Absolutely.
And it's 50 quid, not 65. Plus, you don't have to buy batteries for it. So it's even cheaper.
T18, T22, T22E. They're all brilliant devices and they are cheap as fuck. But I think people sort of avoided the T18 because it looks like a tube mod. And I think the colours, a lot of the time I'd go into the shops and all they had left was pink, and a bloke's not going to want to buy pink. They want to buy something that looks manly, and I think that may be an issue. But for me, yeah, people should be buying Nautilus 2, even, I hate to say it, but a Cool Fire 4 and Nautilus 2 is a great combo for a starter.
Yeah.
I hate to
actually keep you off the fag.
Exactly. It's
the experience that you need.
It emulates smoking. And that's what people who are trying to give up want. I think
it's not what they want, it's what they need, Chris.
Yeah, what they often want is clouds bro clouds.
Yeah, all right, yeah, okay. But yeah, so T18, Nautilus 2, they're the things that people need.
Honestly, as G-Shy has just said, I think the T18 is still one of the best mouth to lung vapes for a starter.
We just picked up the T20s, and the T20s are fucking superb.
Yeah. And
Oh, do you know when you first saw the T20s, were you confused by that cap thing? Like,
Yeah, it's hard to get off unless you know how to like thumb it off.
what the fuck? Yeah, no, completely agree. The T18s aren't available anymore. The T18Es, the T22Es, you know, Inikin have, you know, the coils are good, the tanks are good. They're a banging starter kit, and I'm frantically looking around my desk for one. And
But yeah, they are. They're dope as fuck.
all I can find is a Q class, but we're close enough.
Yeah.
Right, give us another pro and con, Chris. Let's try and get a couple done before we have to move on to bonus.
Mech mods. I'll start with this one. Battery life pisses me off. Patina, that fucks me off a lot.
You were stupid when we were talking about metal tubes, Chris, when you said mech mod.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I think my mech mod here is absolutely fine.
All right, yeah, all right. Mechanical tube mods. Patina ring, battery life. Some of them have very limited safety features. The fact that people use them without knowledge, that bugs me. And also another con is the misconception behind them as well, because of the videos. And I've got people that I know, people that vape, people who I've encouraged and helped start vaping, and I'll say try this, and I'll be like, oh, I don't like using these because I've heard they are dangerous, and that's the misconception. Obviously, they're dangerous in the wrong hands. Like
people rappers do.
Bleach is dangerous if you're going to drink it. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't let a kid have it, and you wouldn't let an idiot have it.
I'm going to tell you a story. I had a guy come in at the weekend, and it's frustrating me even thinking about it. He came in with, I think it was a clone Abe or something like that. And he was bitching that his battery got hot. He was bitching that he just wasn't happy with it. So let's have a look. Took his cap off his clone RDA, and he got 4 wrap 19 gauge.
For fuck's sake.
Right. So what are you running? 0.07, 0.06, 0.05 even. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. But I want bare clouds, bro. It was like, there's ways of getting bare clouds, bro, without fucking potentially blowing your arm off. I says, and I spoke to him, and Denby in the chat was actually in the shop at the time, and there was no words. There was no words. I was like, right, let's get you a safe building there. Let's do that. What do you want? What sort of ohm? What's an ohm? What do you mean, what's an ohm?
See, I made that mistake myself. I had a friend who vaped, used tanks, regulated devices. He wanted a mech mod, and I says, don't buy one until you've done your research. And he assured me that he was doing his research and he was going to do it, but he really wanted one, blah, 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 blah. So I gave him a mech mod and a battery and an RDA, and I built it myself. I made sure it was safe, and I says, look, use this with this build, and it is fine. So do not modify it in any way, do not change anything in any way, and you will be fine. And the fucking idiot took the cap off to drip juice on it, dropped it on the floor, bent one of the coils into the posts, just stuck the cap back on and carried on vaping it. They said one of the coils burnt and went funny, so I just stuck a new one in. I was like, I told you not to fucking touch it. Now, that was my fault because he was a plum and I didn't really think about it. But I should have told him to fuck off. But he's a friend of mine. He wanted it. And I explained as much as I could. He assured me he'd do his research. And he assured me he wouldn't touch or modify it in any way, shape or form. And he lied. He didn't fucking listen to me, and he didn't do what he told me he would do. But at the same time, I know what you mean. I can imagine the look on your face, because it's the same look I had when I fucking pulled the cap off his mod when I got it back off him.
But what do you do? Do you, as a responsible shop owner, sit down you obviously sit there and you talk to him about the safety and all this, but you know, all he's hearing is clouds, bro, clouds, everything you say to him. Now, do you put a safe build in there? What do you do?
Well, you don't, unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you were on the side of caution.
Do I put a safe build in for him?
It's a very...
The words, you in all fairness, mate, you shouldn't be using a Mac. Get your Alien out and stick with that. Or do you put a safe 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 build in for him, knowing damn right when he gets home he's going to get his coat hanger wire out, do 4 wraps and whack it back in again?
I mean, I've seen some shops confiscate people's batteries and stuff because they're damaged.
That was Rick, wasn't it? Didn't Rick do that?
I think it's been done a few times, and I've seen it, and I've seen people say, "Oh, some little old lady come in with this that she was sold somewhere else," and I took it off her.
I've strongly urged people to leave batteries with me that weren't in a fit state for use. I've never straight up said, I'm refusing to give this back to you, but I've said to them, look, we like to dispose of this. It's not safe for you to use, and if you continue to use it, you might hurt yourself.
Someone in chat just said, "Are you not pressured to go back to Mex because of the smock bashing?" It's not necessarily the fact. It's not necessarily bashing smock. Just to clarify that, it's more the fact that we're bashing people being given products like that as starter kits.
Yeah, totally. I'm not personally keen on those smock products. I don't think they're very good. I don't think they represent true value for money. But my actual problem with them is that they're missold to people.
Exactly. Is it not cooler to mech? It is.
No, it's not. Chris.
If you want clouds below clouds, it might be. But no, yeah, I mean, as I said, as we were doing, back to the pros and cons. The pros of it, they look fucking awesome. There's so many cool designs out there. There's so many different innovations. I've got one for the boner board. I will put it up when we get to it. But yeah, I mean, they're my pros and cons for a mechanical tube mod.
Dolan, what about you? I know you're big in the mech world. Like,
what's the question?
Pros and cons for mechanical tubes.
Now, for me personally, or am I making a sweeping statement? You know what? I'm going to stop there. I'm actually really encouraged by some of the comments that are coming across in chat. People saying, I don't trust myself to use a mech. I'd blow my house up with one of those. Well, whilst I don't agree, and if you know what you're doing, you know, I respect, totally respect that comment. You know, if he's not happy with it, then go with that. No, my pros for mechs. This looks really bad on my part, doesn't it?
It does, because you use them. There must be a reason why you use them.
I use them for simplicity. They're quick. They're easy to set up. I can whack a build in. I can whack my RDA on. It's quick. It's easy. It's powerful. If I want it to be powerful.
Yeah.
However, negatives. Battery life on a tube, if that's what we're talking about, a tube. Battery life sucks. Arcing sucks. Patina sucks. Cost can suck.
I agree with all of that. Stuart?
Pros for me on tube mods is form factor more than anything. You know, the convenience of this form factor is perfect for me. And it's always going to be my preferred method of vaping, just because that is the most comfortable way of using a device for me, personally. My hands really, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my hands really like having that like holding that sort of shape more than a box, personally. The biggest con for me with mechs is actually the in order to get as hard a denser vape as I want, I would have to build lower than I like building. So typically with mechs, I only tend to use them around the house or when I'm in the vape shop, where it's okay for me to chain vape, because if I'm on a mech, I have to chain vape because I'm the kind of person that vapes like 0.2 at 100 watts normally, which is way more dense, hot, saturated vapor than my mech gives me at 0.1, and I don't want to build under 0.1. Like, I just don't want to run a 007 as a daily vape, you know? I'm going to be going through batteries every fucking 3 seconds. So for me, I just have sort of 2 main pros and cons, and that is I love the form factor. I find them so attractive, but they're not convenient for me. I have to take a reg out with me if I'm hitting the road or whatever, because I just cannot be doing with having to chain vape in order to feel satisfied.
Yeah. That's definitely wow. Going back. You have to read.
What?
Stuart, you're so bad.
I'm what?
Echoing.
Oh, I'll refresh again, dude.
Yeah, I mean, mech mods, they look fucking beautiful. They do, but they're not convenient anymore. I don't think when you're in the realms of sort of like 0.1 builds, they lose the convenience on both battery life, you know, they just don't do what a regulated device will do.
They don't, but don't get me wrong, I'm an evangelist for mechanical mods. They definitely have their place. You know, like Stu was saying, they're sexy. He likes the form factor. I like the fact it is a tube that you put in your hand and you're done. And that is my choice. As you know, my series box doesn't leave my hand. It is what I use all day, every day, pretty much. But in my other hand, or not far by, I will have my regulated Minikin V2 shitty slidey thing in my hand. But I will flick between the two.
I think it's about satisfaction, right?
Right, completely. Satisfaction. I get that thick, dense vape that I like of my series box. That is what keeps away my nicotine cravings. And even though I've been vaping for whatever many years, I still get a nicotine craving.
Yeah, so do I. Do any of you have like panic attacks when you can't find your mod?
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? All of a sudden,
I passed out the other day. It was fucking under my pillow, and I was laying on my bed, and I was proper spamming, and I couldn't see it, no matter how much I fucking moved around trying to find it.
Yeah, I get all like, fuck, where the fuck's my mod? Where the fuck's my mod? It's every time I get up off the sofa trying to find it.
Much like when you used to shit yourself when you couldn't find your fags or your lighter.
Yeah.
But like, you're like, oh fuck, all hands on deck. Everyone, kids, look for that thing that I told you not to touch. If you see it, tell me. The worst thing is I tuck it under the corner of my belly and forget it's there.
We're still talking about your vape, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I think we should probably do some pros and cons maybe next week, but different ones. And
yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? We've got a guest boner to do, haven't we? Because we're not really doing boners this week, are we? We're just letting the guests.
I've done boners.
I ain't got any boners this week. Oh.
I spied my boner before the show.
Yeah. I've got.
My dick's worn out this week. I can't get it up.
I say that I had a helping hand, so all good.
Can we just clarify that's Lindsay? Can you just turn the camera a little bit so we know that
it wasn't? It was actually Martin, but
just to clarify that it is a fully grown adult, because that is the
yeah, because she does have time.
There we go, Chris.
She's got Jeremy Beadle hands.
Yeah, she suffers from beetle hand. You know, some people suffer from beetle hand.
He hasn't got beetle hand. I've just got a big cock. It just looks small.
Mark, everything about you is fucking massive.
You go to match.
Right, where were we?
Bonus.
I did have.
Have we got someone coming in?
Should we do our bonus and then throw it to the floor and invite said person in?
Yeah, I don't really mind how we do it. Let's just do it.
Let's do it. I have no boner this week.
All right, Stu, put the boner board up. And
All right, I'm gonna stick the boner board up.
I'd like everyone in chat, if you have any boners, just to let us know while we're doing this one and the next person's one, and then we'll go into them public boners.
Please, 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 we don't want photos of these boners.
So every time I speak, the boner board will come up. So just tell me when you want. Oh, la la la, so that it comes up.
Right, zoom in a bit so we can get the boners to fill the wall.
Oh man, you're always wanting to zoom in on my boner.
Well, the problem is that even quite close up, you can't really see your boner.
Yeah, I know. My boner is pretty hard to see, to be fair.
Oh, there we go. That's good. That's good. Right.
You happy with that sort of view of my boner?
My first boner, and it's. I'm gonna put it under. I'm gonna put it under meh. That's not what I think of it, but that's where I'm gonna put it to start with, so we can discuss like adults.
Where's your 6mm tank stick? Oh no. Soy X now. Oh, can I go first, please?
Go on.
Oh, right. Okay. Everyone who knows me knows
You're a massive soy head.
I love my shorty. I've got
You
a
like
pair
soy
of them.
more than the Chinese.
I love my shorty. I've got a pair of them, and I was so excited to hear that they're releasing new ones. Now, I've got a very good friend who is the UK captain of the soy team, and he obviously got one before they were released, and I got to try one, and I was so fucking disappointed. So fucking disappointed. I really wanted to love it. I really did, but the mod is gash. I hate that wiggly button. Am I on my own here? Are people still here? I hate that wiggly button.
I'm listening.
Do you know what? I'm just going to be honest. I just think it's the fucking mod to hit the market in years. I just find it so ugly, and the RDA as well. I just find it really fucking gross to look at. I don't know how it performs because I've not tried it, but I look at it, and the old SOIs were an object of desire, and this is not an object of desire to me. It doesn't have any beauty whatsoever. There's nothing aesthetic about it that I like.
Don't get me wrong. I think it looks all right. I think it looks nice, and that was one of the reasons why I was so disappointed when I tried it.
See, for me, I own one, and I am almost dead in the middle. Now, it looks nice, it feels nice, it performs fine. The button is fucking very innovative, very interesting. I really like it. It pissed me off to start with because I couldn't work out how to get it to fire. For those
Hang on. Are you buying the one that? Did you buy the one I tried to buy? Did it come up in one of our groups for sale?
Yeah.
You cunt.
Yeah, I took that
Ben.
Yeah,
You cunt.
I took that one because I saw that you were interested, so I thought I'd get it first. It's nice feeling. It weighs a decent amount. It's a pain in the ass to work out how to fire. There's no instructions with it. You have to pull out the button, twist it, and then push it back in to get it to fire. I didn't know that. You have to run the battery positive down because of this reverse polarity protection they've put in, which is essentially 3 bits of plastic. But, and this is where it goes from good to bad, they've put vent holes in it, considerably sized vent holes, which makes me doubt their faith in their reverse polarity protection. 2, you have massive vent holes coming out. Can you click that picture, Stu, for us, please? And then
Yeah, I'll click that picture for you, Chris. Why not? Why not? There you go.
you see where this line is, just above the button. Can you see? Move your mouse to the right.
That line there.
Thick line there. That's actually where the vent holes are. So if a battery was to vent, it would melt your hand. It would just spray hot, burning basset battery, sparks and shit out of that straight into your hand. So that's kind of defeats the purpose of a vent hole. The button, they reckon, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, if Ollie's watching, can he clarify? I've heard that if you take the button apart, it voids its warranty.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what I've heard.
And it's also a cunt to clean because it's got a special electrical lubricant inside the switch that if you
It's got lube. Now I'm interested.
well, if you take the switch apart, there's a special electrical current conducting lubricant that will wash off if you stick it in an ultrasonic cleaner or anything like that. So essentially, it's a pain in the ass to clean because you can only really touch the threads, and if you can't get in there deep enough, you won't be able to clean it. It looks nice, it feels nice, it performs fine, but it's just not there for me.
You actually think it looks nice, though?
I think it does look nice.
I think it's ugly.
I think it looks really nice. And
do you know what? I actually think the RDA is worse. The mod I can kind of just about allow, but
the RDA, there's a couple.
The RDA is taller than Dolan.
Yeah, the RDA, there's a couple of cons for me too. It's quite tall. The post holes are near the bottom of it, which makes it a pain if you want to have your coils quite low. Yeah, it's quite hard. You have to bend them to lift them up. I haven't tried this, but because it's got that like weird roller flicky bit in the middle, if you put a building tight and then you pull it tight, because I often put them right up against the post and pull them out tight to make sure that all the wraps are tight, I don't know whether those roller things are going to slip and it's just going to pull out. I don't know. The drip tip that comes with it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Hideous. And the top cap's not that much better.
To be fair, SOI drip tips have historically been fucking ugly.
Well, that's why you go for chubby, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the main issue for me with the RDA is the airflow. The airflow works good if you like tons of air. If it works good if you like very little air. But the 2 holes is too much for me, and 1 hole is not enough. And it could have just been a slot, and then you would have had the option to be in between that. And that's just personal preference for me. And also, I don't know if either of you saw the video, but mine whistles to fuck. Like, I'll just play the video. I won't show you the video clip. I'll just play the sound that I recorded this video to send to someone.
I think next door's dog just passed out.
It's like a recorder. That bothers me.
Have you tried the Purge RDA? That's exactly the same.
I used it once, and I to be honest, I put the battle cap, or no, what was it called? What Modfather on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with the Purge RDA though is they've actually released a couple of different caps, haven't they? Because they've got one that's got like Cylon fixed airflow, which has got like the divots in it, and then they've got one which has got circular fixed airflow. And the one with the circular fixed airflow, I think it's called like the Headshot or something. I actually quite liked that when I tried it. It reminded me of the Warhead, the tactical Warhead, which is like one of my all-time favorite RDAs.
Yeah,
so I mean, I've got the Headshot, and I'm not a massive fan. Anyway, this is about the soy. To me, I'd run it empty.
No, yeah. I like it enough to put it up near pretty good or freaking awesome. But if you guys don't like it, we're gonna have to sort of meet in the middle somewhere.
I can't.
I honestly said that. Obviously, I tried to buy the one that you bought, and I want to give it a good go. But from what I've tried, from what I've experienced from it, I don't like it. But I'm willing to buy one to give it a try to be proved wrong. But
I like it because of the innovation.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the switch. I think it's awesome. I like the idea behind.
Does your switch wiggle? Does it wobble like fuck?
A little bit, but not enough for me to notice. Because to be honest, I don't use it enough for me to notice. As you know, this is my all day, every day. But I've used it quite a bit, and I do like it. I'm not.
Chris, when you're done with it, send it my way. I'll buy it off you.
All right, that works. I mean, it's just a very middle of the road. There's something. It had the potential to be incredible. I think this is why I put it on the boner board. It had the potential to be absolutely fucking incredible, and some parts of it are, but there's other parts that, and it's just not.
Can I just? I honestly feel like what the SOI X represents, to my mind, is incredible ideas, very poorly executed.
Absolutely.
And because of that, for me, I can't put it any higher than like Pretty Pants. Like it, the best case scenario, it sits somewhere in the middle of the board for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we're at Pretty Pants. Mark, you happy with Pretty Pants?
Mm.
You think it should be worse?
I'd say one more. I'd go with Riente. But with you being at, where were you? Pretty good to freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty good.
Stu?
I like sort of almost shite to Pretty Pants is kind of where I think it has to sit.
Okay, we'll go with Pretty Pants then. I think that's fair.
And to be fair, you know, I do like a pair of Pretty Pants.
Well, this is true. Right, my second boner, and I'm putting this. I might make its own category, to be honest, but it's going there for now. Load.
There it is. I mean,
Like,
there's no reality in which that's not going fully charged. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't let you put it anywhere other than fully charged, but
How could I? How could I even suggest it go anywhere other than look at it? The one on the right is literally like the most beautiful billet I've ever seen. I fucking adore it.
see, that's my one. If you look closely at that button, can you see where it's going silver? Where I've used it that much, I've worn away the anodizing.
Don't get me wrong, they're pretentious as fuck and only wankers own them, but you know.
Come on, Chris. The only reason you took our photo was so you could take a photo of your crotch and put it on screen.
To be honest, I forgot my crotch was in that. Yeah, that is my pride and joy. That like the one on the left, I've actually just bought for a friend of mine, and I'm so gutted to let it go. I paid flipper price because I knew how much he wanted the orange one. I surprised him with it and said, "I've got you the billet box you wanted," and he's over the moon with it. And I honestly, it's the Rev 4A and mine's the Rev 4B. There's no difference at all apart from the screen size.
Yeah.
If I didn't own a second set of panels that had a screen cut out for the Rev 4B, I would have swapped him and not told him. But because my panels won't fit and my button's worn away and the side of mine, this bit has worn too, where I've used it so much, I can't get away with blagging it and saying that this is his one and keeping that. I would have changed. What?
Fully charged for me.
Honestly, I'm gutted that he's got a mint condition one and mine's worn away. But at the same time, I know how much he wanted one and I really wanted him to enjoy it. So, yeah, luckily he still wanted one because I bought it and then told him I'd got it. So it's a good thing he really did want one because otherwise I'd be, well, that's not a bad thing. I would have been stuck with two. I would have been happy to be stuck with two. But as I said, it is the best thing I've ever owned. And it's not about the price. If it was 20 quid, it would be the best thing I ever owned. And the fact is, I'm morally against clones, but I would, if they were cheap, they would be just as good to me. They look fucking beautiful. They are designed so well. They are the best use of the DNA 42. The amount of different coils you can use in it to your preference, sub-tank, Nautilus, BBC. Fucking, there's about 4 RDAs for it, so you can put rebuildable coils in it.
Let's just make it clear though, never will they ever release a bridge for Smock Baby Beast coils.
No.
But if they did, how many people would just sell out of billets straight away? They're just like, nope, I want no part of this. I'm not getting involved. I'm selling out.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's just that is as good as vaping will get. That, and it sounds weird because it took for the billet box to come out for me to appreciate that you can be satisfied with vaping mouth to lung. You can be satisfied with less than 200 watts. I was very much a cloud chaser, and that's why I kind of chuckled to myself earlier when Stu said, "Oh, mechs will always be my go-to," because they were always my go-to. Clouds was always my go-to. Rebuildables was always my go-to, and it still is. I've got a real passion for RDAs. I've got a real passion for coil art. I've got a real passion. I'm not very good at designing coils, don't get me wrong, but I can really appreciate incredible coil art. I can really appreciate, beautiful mech mods. But for me, the billet box is absolutely incredible.
Right, what's our final one then?
Mm.
Because I'm happy with fully charged, Stu.
I'm perfectly happy with fully charged. I can't really justify it going anywhere else.
I mean, I don't think this is going to get anywhere. There's no discussion needed for this. I think we've had this discussion earlier. This final one, I was going to do before we got into such an in-depth discussion about it. It's going in proper cunty. I don't think there's any objections to this, but kids vaping.
Yeah, fuck that.
Proper cunty. Does someone want to invite our little secret guest in? And I'm going to have a quick trawl through the chat and see if there's any public boners to look for whilst this person does their boner.
Yeah, I will get said person to come in now.
I mean,
stand by.
Chris Ferns has said the mod itself is amazing, but fuck the flip market. I get that.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, I mean, I paid flipper price for this one for my friend because I knew how much he wanted it, and I knew that when we were sitting at Expo having a meal, he actually said to me, we saw one on a buy swap and sell group. He said, "Get it," and it was flipper price. And so I know that he was willing to pay flipper price for it, and I know how hard they are to get. So I mean, I do disagree with the flipper price. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if you want it that bad, you'll pay whatever it costs. You know what I mean? And I think he really, for me, it was just because I know how much he wanted one, and I just wanted to make sure that he enjoyed this vape experience that he's beginning to properly get into.
Stu, can you take your screen off broadcast?
It's not on broadcast.
Stu's is.
No, it's not. You must have clicked it.
Yeah, no, I'm not on broadcast, mate. Mine only comes up when I talk. However, our guest is here now, so we should probably say hello. Mr. John Clark, how you doing?
Very good evening, chappies.
Are you all right, mate?
Yeah, you guys.
Very well, yeah. What are you vaping on tonight, Jono?
I'm vaping on, well, the other one of what Matt Dolan is, Rottle, Isondo.
Nice.
I paid Dale a visit on Saturday, so I picked up that, and I had to get another bottle of Boston Bad Boy because I run clean out.
Oh, it's fucking dope, that juice is.
So on that, I've been on the Endless Clean with the Goon combo.
Big Tom.
What's that, sorry? Yeah, well, it was the originally it was the Pig Tom before it kind of got wiped away. DNA 250 with the Mason 24. I hadn't vaped this idea for a very long time, so I thought, yeah, why not?
That's another one as tall as Dolan, isn't it?
What have I done now?
That Mason 24 is about as tall as you. It's another one.
It is a tall one, yeah. Yeah, it is quite tall. On that, I'm on Lemon Trip baked.
Oh, yeah. Little plug there.
Well, go advertise, don't I? You know what I mean?
You can plug. You come on our fucking show thinking you can
advertise. You know what I mean? You got to advertise.
I can't help but imagine that Jono's practiced his "What are you vaping on" in the mirror a few times.
Just no shame.
Chris, I love the fact that you're still wearing your Crown Drip Club t-shirt. I wear mine weekly.
All the time. All the time. Shout out to my boy Skepta.
Last one, I'm on the Suicide Squonk. Absolutely adore this thing. This is my all-day vape. I love the thing. Using the Droga. And on that, I am using Toasted.
You've got more fucking hand checks than we did.
Sorry, mate. I'm a bit greedy this week.
So, apparently, Jono, you've got a boner properly bursting out of your trousers this week.
I have. It is absolutely out there.
Wait, I need to find a picture of it. Give me a moment.
Kind of peeking. Is it the first or the second one that I said, JB?
It's
JB's looking for images, so you boner however you want a boner. We need to find images anyway.
Right. Well, first one is collectors.
Collectors.
People who
Find an image for that.
No, that I didn't know he was doing that one. I knew he said he was thinking about doing that one, but I was more concentrating on the other one, to be honest.
on the other one, yeah. So
We'll put it in text. We'll put it in text.
We'll find I'll find a collectors. Where
All right, you do your thing then. You do your thing. All right, talk collectors, John. Where do you want to place collectors?
well, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to decide where to put it. I'd put it under what's one just before fully charged.
How dare you come on to our fucking show and not know which one is just under fully charged? I've just checked. It's freaking awesome.
I can't even read it. So yeah, so probably pretty good or freaking awesome collectors. The guys who actually push the products, guys who aren't even sponsored. So like people who like push rig, like Amplify. I'm not even going to mention people. So people who push rig, Rogue. I know, sorry, and just juices in general. No, not juices. But like even smart products, people do collect them as modus. But people do push these products, and even though they're not getting, the credit for it, I think it's just the hobbyist side of it that people find.
I think what Jono means then is evangelists rather than collectors.
Yeah.
I'm trying to load an image at the minute. It is up. It says it's uploading, but I don't know.
Jono, what are you saying? Someone that absolutely adores the brand, that isn't supported, that isn't sponsored, someone that just reps the fuck out of it because they love that product.
Yeah, exactly.
Click the picture, Stu. I think this accurately represents collectors.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's John's collection of rigs, isn't it?
That's like this room at the minute. It's fucking horrible.
I mean, for me, I don't think you necessarily need to collect a specific brand for it to become a collection. I mean, I've got fucking shitloads of stuff that I didn't even know I still had, and I must have 60 RDAs in the cupboard, and I don't use any of them. But I can't bear to part of them. For two reasons really. One, because they're a big part of the journey I've been on, and I like going back every now and again and trying something that I used to think was the nuts to see if I still like it. I think that's like a real journey of discovery for myself. I quite enjoy that. And two, because I know I won't get anywhere near the fucking price I paid for some of the stuff. I just can't bear to sell it. I'd rather keep it than sell it for 20p. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, collectors, well, without them, we wouldn't have so much of a vast market, I don't think. If everyone was happy with one product and everyone just, once they got bored of it, sold it to someone else and they didn't need to buy another one because they've just bought one secondhand, I don't think we'd ever have this buy and sell market and buy and sell sort of a relationship with vaping that we have as hobbyists in Facebook. Like the fact of the matter is, like Mark said earlier, when you get bored of your SOI, sell it to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that helps, because the problem with that is, like, I know that Mark will never part of it, despite the fact that even if he didn't use it. Do you know what I mean? So I'd never get it back. So I think that's part of what makes us hobbyist vapors.
I think it goes with the individual groups as well. That because I know there's like a rig mod owners group, a rogue owners group. I believe there's an Asmodeus one as well. People will say, "Oh yeah, check out my collection," and then there'll be somebody else who's got like another like 5 or 6, and they're like, "Well, yeah, check out my collection." And then that's them on like a friendship like level. That's their connection.
That's a bit like Pokemon cards, isn't it?
If you want to go down that route, I don't think.
When I was younger, Pokemon cards or Pogs, or do you know what I mean? I think you kind of, I think when you're a hobbyist vapor as well, or you collect stuff or whatever, I think you find that a lot of us, I don't think any of the people I know, including you guys, I don't think this is the first thing we've ever done as a hobby. Do you know what I mean? There are these people that have always had hobbies, and I think it's quite important that, well, it's not important, but I think it's quite it's quite interesting to see that a lot of us had hobbies and did a lot of different things. We're that type of person, because there's a lot of people I know, like personally, that are vapors, but they don't give a shit about the hobbyist side of things. They just don't want to smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The whole like brand champions thing, I can actually relate to quite closely. I mean, my collection beside me, and I've got like 5 endless mechs, each of them with their own RDA, plus a couple of extra RDAs, plus a couple of extra caps that I use so that I can use their RDA on other devices. And then on top of that, I work events for Endless. I've now got a custom printed Endless polo shirt that's got my name and a load of like team credentials on the back of it and stuff. And I don't even work for Endless. Not only do I not work for Endless, but I'm releasing my own mech mod soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're technically a competitor, but I love them. I love what they do and how they do it and why they do it. And so I rep them to the fucking T, because the way they run their brand and what they do with their brand really fucking speaks to me.
It's all right, Stu. Paul's not in chat tonight.
I suck your dick, man.
Click on the image again. I found a better one without that big white box around it.
From what Chris was saying earlier, literally about, I rarely sell anything, much to Lindsay's annoyance. But I'm looking around me now, and the fact it's pitch black in here, just pass me anything, random shit off the side of the desk.
Is it a dilly? Is it a dilly?
So we've got a CCC with a stainless steel Kennedy. Another one. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
I mean, look at all the boxes behind you, Mark. We can tell you're a bit of a hoarder.
Old school sun boxes.
Is that even genuine?
I'm not proud of that, but
Is that a clone?
no, fuck off. Old school.
Is that a clone?
No. Fucking Kangatech drip boxes.
Is that a clone?
Well, I draw the line at keeping that, Mark. That's not exactly a piece of vaping history, is it?
Just look at the shit we've got lying around. It's just
Is that an X-Cube 2?
an X-Cube 2 with a, what is that? An Arctic?
Dual crown, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a crown with a huge Gary Dibley drip tip. It just, yeah, I'll just never sell anything. What the fuck is that?
That's a Nephos, isn't it?
That's a Nephos.
You said I could have that about a year ago.
Huh?
You said I could have that about a year ago.
What?
I think you told me you'd posted it out about a year ago and all.
Nephos?
Yeah. You said, I can't remember what it was. I think you'd said, I'll send it to you. You can have a look at it. You can have it if you want. And I was like, all right.
I'm just going to go and take a photograph so that I can show you another example of being a brand ambassador.
I'd love to take you on a tour of my shed, but the Wi-Fi shit out there. The amount of shit I've got in there. And I think it's got to a point now where before it was all neatly in rows, but I've got that much shit. It's all just shoved to the back and more shit shoved in.
I'm just going to take the boner board off of share for a minute, just so I can put this up to my camera, right? So this is another example. Like mine and Mark's relationship in the industry has always been friends, pretty much from the word go. Like we've never really had any kind of business relationship. We've just been friends, and so I've always supported Mark on everything he does because he's my mate. And last week I ordered one of his Sosk t-shirts, and I ordered it in a small. Obviously, I don't take a small. The reason I ordered it is because I'm patching up my battle jacket because I'm like a fucking, metalhead dickhead, and I have one of these knobheads that has a fucking sleeveless denim with patches on it. In the process of patching it, and that is my main back patch on my battle jacket. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like when you love something, you just want, you know what I mean? You want to just you want to be seen supporting it.
You are like a, what's the word for those idiots?
Dickhead. Yeah, I know.
Like what's those people? Oh, fuck, what are they called? I can't remember what they call them. So they were scene kids last year. What are they now?
Yeah, no, they're still scene kids. I'm seen as fuck, mate.
You're like, yeah. It's like punk rock's died and you've been born.
Right, Jono, have you got another one?
Yes, yeah. I'll just drag. I'll just drag. Wait, don't say until the picture loads. This one's the most interesting boner I think we've been, and I was told that Big Tom gave you this one.
Yeah, he did.
So
he passed this on to me for tonight.
It's a very interesting topic.
Is it up?
Click it.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, let me expand it. The fags.
The fags. Well, I'm going to be the first to go. Did we never actually moved around collectors, did we? But either way, cigarettes, fucking bring it on. If it wasn't for cigarettes, none of us would be sat here now.
Exactly.
Many people we know wouldn't have jobs, or they might, but they wouldn't be good ones.
I mean, it's to me, it's created. Well, it's created jobs. It's created a social aspect, a community. You know, just from being a dirty smoker. So to me, it should be fully charged because we won't be anywhere without the cigarettes.
It's a tough one, isn't it, though? Like, how do you morally justify putting cigarettes on fully charged? Like,
I mean,
they're the fucking enemy, man.
Yeah, the enemy, but you wouldn't be where you are now if it wasn't for that.
No, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but how do you? Could you honestly drag that picture and dump it in fully charged and walk away feeling all right?
No.
Honestly, do that.
I think this is why it's such an interesting topic because, for me personally, there's been a lot of things in my life which have been questionable. I think that's a good word for it. I can't physically. When I look in the mirror, looks aside, right? I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I've achieved. I'm proud of how I try to positively impact the people that I meet, whatever way, shape, or form. Now, for me, it's impossible for me to regret anything that's happened in my past because it's made me who I am today. Sounds cliche, sounds a bit weird, but it's true. But I don't regret smoking. I regret probably starting smoking, but I wouldn't change it because, for one, it's led me to the experience and the journey that I've been on. For two, it's introduced me to an industry and a lot of people that I love. But smoking as a whole is proper cunty. Like, there's no two ways about it. But the journey that we've been on as people through smoking, it's fully charged.
I mean, like Phil Ravi's just said, it's the fact that we have given them up. That's why they should be fully charged. He said fully loaded, but fully charged.
Yeah, and that's a really strong point. Like, if they're gonna go on fully charged, I think we can't. You know, like we label each picture, yeah. The label can't be cigarettes.
No.
The label has to be the journey.
Breaking the chains, I think.
If we're talking about the journey, if we're talking about what's happened because of cigarettes to us as vapors, yeah, fully charged all day. If I just have to look every week at the word cigarettes sat on fully charged, that's gonna fuck with me.
Yeah.
It won't ever be cigarettes that we're agreeing with. I think we know that as vapors. Do you know what I mean? I think I get what Jono's saying, but I think it's how smoking impacts us as people very much depends on how your life is impacted by smoking. Now, for us that have lost loved ones to smoking, the journey itself has not necessarily been a nice one. But I think there's parts of it, and, you know, I'm speaking on behalf of myself, I'm not saying for everyone, but there are parts of it which are incredible. You know, giving up smoking is a massive achievement for any of us, any of you, to achieve. Like, it's a massive, massive thing. Now, we shouldn't have had to have that experience. We shouldn't have had to. The government shouldn't allow the sale of cigarettes. Full stop. It should not be allowed.
That's fair.
But it is, and there's nothing we can do about that. But at the same time, those journeys, although hard, although painful, although, you know, there'll be a lot of people as a whole have gone through as a result of cigarettes being in existence. I think the actual journey that we've been on to become the community that we are because of the quitting of smoking cigarettes is fully charged. Does that make sense, or is that too wordy?
I don't think you can put that on boner board.
Might be a little bit much for the little box.
I think.
I fell asleep for a minute.
Fuck you.
That's just JB boring as fuck. Isn't it?
I swear, my Alexa started smoking crack because everything I say, all of a sudden, it fucker lights up. Alexa's on drugs, people. Let's put that on the boner board. So yeah, I think we should delete the picture and change the title to Giving Up Smoking.
Giving up smoking. Yeah, man. I can get behind that.
Wait, I've got a fucking better idea.
See, although Tom did give me that one for this week, I give him his 2 for last week, so we're even.
Fair trade.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm gonna try to sneak the credit in. Right, we're putting Giving Up Smoking in its own column. I don't know if you can see that from there.
Scroll across there.
Absolutely fucking incredible.
And the billet box is also going in there.
Fuck off.
It is. I'm sorry. Now this is reserved for things that are absolutely.
In which case, Akina needs to go over as well.
Look, you can fight your case.
You're a right bunch of saps. Fuck off. Take that billet box out of that category now.
No.
No, take the billet box out of the category. You can't say that it's as good as fucking Giving Up Smoking.
You're telling me the billet box is not absolutely fucking incredible?
I'm saying that the billet box is fully charged. Fully charged is the top category. This is a special category that we've created for possibly the most important thing to go on the boner board to date. You don't get to just slide your fucking snotty billet box in there just because you've got a fucking hard on for it. Wind your neck in, crack the billet box back into fully charged, and chill the fuck out. Please.
How's that?
As good as Jesus.
Mate, you're such a little fanny. You're such a fucking fanny.
Look, this boner board's going to be fucking massive if you don't allow me just to keep it in absolutely fucking incredible.
Mate, you're going too far.
Yeah, too far to the right. Let me delete that and put smoking back with the billet box where it belongs.
Just put the billet box in fully charged. Put Giving Up Smoking in absolutely fucking incredible. Especially bearing in mind that I'm as good as Jesus means shit to me, so fucking sort that out.
I'm an atheist too. It's just a.
Well, then don't fucking make up shit that don't mean anything to you, you fanny ass.
Metaphorically speaking, cock breath.
What do you mean, metaphorically speaking? Jesus is not a metaphor, bro.
Jesus is a metaphor for something that's amazing.
Don't
Look,
weigh in
I've
on
done
this
what
one.
you said. Pull your pants out of your bumhole. Wipe the sand out of your vagina. We're back on track.
Thank you, darling. I really appreciate your cooperation.
You're like Hitler now. You and Hitler are in the same row on the boner board.
Me and Hitler. Thank you. For saying that I'm Jewish, that's what you think.
You're not even Jewish. You said that last time.
Mate, I get away with it so much, though.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. We're live on it.
So the Giving Up Smoking's in the absolute incredible, and then cigarettes is going to the complete opposite end.
Well, I think cigarettes as a whole is definitely always shit. I don't think. To be honest, I think we should do a whole show special of anyone that can try and contest cigarettes being the absolute cunt of cuntness. Maybe that should be a new category. Absolute cunt of cuntness.
Mate, you're getting a bit of a fucking erection for new categories.
I am, but I like this. I like the new boner board, which I made. May I add?
I think what you like is power.
Yeah, maybe.
This is going to be the widest boner board in the world.
I think it's going to be the only boner board in the world. But you did sound a lot like Jeremy Clarkson. Then.
Clarkson.
What was the point? That was
Right. On that note, are we done?
I think.
yeah, I think we should fucking quit now. I've had enough of this fucking not talking about vaping bollocks.
Can we just zoom in on that billet box just to make it vape related?
No, I'm stopping presenting now. I've had enough.
You tosser.
Literally just can't even.
What am I doing? I can just do this.
Literally can't even be bothered with you wanking over your billet box anymore. Yes, it's very beautiful.
It's absolutely fucking awesome. That's what it is. I just want you to admit it.
Right. On that note, interesting week. We've gone over somewhat. What time are we on? 10:15. Fuck me.
It's a little bit late.
To be honest, this was a bit of a fucking mishmash of a show, but we've managed to talk shit for another hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, and to be fair, we barely talked about vaping at all, which is fucking great.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 30 minutes of the show was Dilly Talk UK.
I think we should change it to Shit Talk UK.
Yeah, reasonable.
Right. On that note, we love you all. We will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have Big Tom from Red Tube back on. And adios.
Thank you very much to Jono for your boner, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having us on.
In the words of Conor McGregor, who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is this guy? You'll do nothing. Fucking love that video. Laters, guys.
See you next week.